Hey fight fans, today in this video, as you know, on October 22nd at UFC 280, right after his win, Islam called out Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight champion with 4 title defenses himself. This would be a super fight that would be watched by millions of fans. But Makhachev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, does not think that Volkanovski should be fighting Islam. The real question is why? Is he worried about Alex's legacy? Or does he believe that Alex could create some real problems for Islam? Volkanovski is due to face the new lightweight king in Australia. But the main question remains, how can Volkanovski hope to defeat Islam Makhachev? Does he have a chance to beat him? Well, former UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker claims that people greatly underestimate the skill of Alexander Volkanovski, giving him a small chance of winning the fight with Islam. And UFC welterweight Shavkat Rakhmonov is confident that Islam Makhachev will keep the UFC lightweight belt until he voluntarily releases the title. So let's go. But just one thing. Please help support our channel by liking and subscribing because it only motivates us to make new and interesting videos. Thank you in advance. To start off with, Makhachev's manager Ali Abdelaziz doesn't think that Volkanovski should be fighting Islam. I have a lot of respect for Volkanovski. He is an amazing fighter and ambassador for the sport. But if he wants to destroy his legacy, go ahead and fight Makhachev. I can't say bad things about Alex because I like him. But how is he going to defeat Islam? He won't be able to do it. If he wants to destroy his legacy, if you want to lose your place, go ahead and fight Islam. Everything will be over in 2 rounds. Alex is too small for this division, says Abdelaziz. Now, so far there has been no official announcement, but if the fighters themselves want to meet, then UFC matchmakers will not stand in their way. Back on July 2nd, 2022 at UFC 276, Volkanovski destroyed Max Holloway in his 3rd head-to-head fight and received the carte blanche from Dana White. Even before the 3rd fight with Max Holloway, Dana White said that if Alexander beats the Hawaiian, he can do whatever he wants. Volkanovski defeated Max, showing such a high-quality performance that any questions about the best featherweight in the world disappeared. Now, Alex wants to get a 2nd belt and become a champ. Volkanovski wants to fight at UFC 284, which is currently scheduled for February 2023 in Australia. Alex is a local resident, a pound-for-pound #1, and a dominant featherweight champion. But will he face the new lightweight king who just won his title at the latest UFC 280? Australia was chosen to host UFC 284 for a reason. The UFC wants to make a lot of money, namely on the green continent, as on October 6, 2019 at UFC 243, the promotion set an attendance record of 57,127 spectators coming to Marvel Stadium Arena. It was warm in Australia in February, and UFC matchmakers will put together a card with a couple of title fights that may well break their own attendance record. But the main question is still being asked. How can Volkanovski hope to defeat Islam Makhachev? Because most fans think that Alex does not stand a chance against Islam.
Volkanovski, clinch, lot of knees. He's gonna eat a lot of knees. He's gonna take his all energy, take him down, and he's gonna choke him out.
But former UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker says that people greatly underestimate the skills of Alexander Volkanovski, giving him minimal chance of winning in a fight with Makhachev. Everyone loses sight of how versatile Alex is. His skills are top-notch, and physically, he's a very strong guy. I think he will be able to control the flow of the fight with his striking technique, and his strength and stamina are very high. I don't believe that Islam can easily translate it and control it as everyone thinks. Now, that was according to Robert Whittaker on Submission Radio. And it is hard not to agree with Whittaker, but in a fight with Charles Oliveira, Makhachev showed the whole world how good his striking is. It is worth noting that before the fight, many experts, including myself, were skeptical about the work of Makhachev on the ground, arguing that Oliveira would easily submit him. And as you remember, this did not happen, as it almost happened the other way around, with Islam almost knocking out Charles in the 1st round. Therefore, we can already say that Makhachev is dangerous, not just on the ground, but also on his feet. However, the main trump card of Islam still remains on the ground: grappling, freestyle wrestling. His judo is at the highest level. It is unlikely that anyone in the lightweight division will have an antidote to this, which just hints that Islam has every chance of gaining a foothold at the top of the division for a very long time. Also, Islam has shown everyone that he is very strong physically. Oliveira has already felt it for himself and couldn't do anything, but can Volkanovski handle it?
There's nothing Alexander could do because of what the sport of wrestling has taught Islam. And just imagine where he comes from and the lineage of Olympic champions, world champions, and all these different disciplines in his country, in his city of Dagestan, where he can get the best of the best. But I just think it's going to be easy work for Islam.
Now, of course, the Australian just does not lead the ratings of the organization's fighters. In his last fight at UFC 276 back in July, Volkanovski defeated Max Holloway to defend his belt for a 4th time. Alex's last 3 fights can really be called dominant. He always has a clear game plan for every fight that he has. He has good takedown defense at 60%, he misses only 40% of his strikes in the standing, and he has excellent timing and speed with his hands. Alex performs exactly as many actions per round as required in order to win said round. Volkanovski does a great job at distributing his cardio throughout an entire 25 minutes without ever getting gassed. The featherweight champion is seriously dangerous, and he is a very experienced fighter who will throw some problems at anyone. But for Makhachev, if he wants to take the fight to the ground, then he's going to succeed. And on the ground, Makhachev will be able to control him through technique and just physical strength. In the standing position, he also has good chance of not losing, even though Alex has decently improved in his speed and timing. Islam has a good sense of distance, as Islam's missed punch statistics are among the best in the division. He is incredibly good on defense, he almost never misses a beat, including takedowns, and most importantly, no one has been able to submit him, not even the king of submissions, Charles Oliveira. And yet immediately, Makhachev decides to challenge the #1 pound-for-pound champion. And I mean, come on, that just speaks of his inner self-confidence. Now, Volkanovski, he's going to be a difficult opponent, but Islam has a good chance of passing his guard and really making the first defense of the lightweight belt. He will be ready to enter the octagon in 3.5 months and do it in Australia. Makhachev has already broken into the UFC elite and declares that he's going to be there for a long time. And the number 10th ranked UFC welterweight division, Shavkat Rakhmonov, also thinks so. Islam will hold the UFC lightweight championship belt until he voluntarily releases the title. Islam is really good, and it seems to me that he will hold the belt for a long time, until he leaves. Rakhmonov stated in an interview with Vesnik MMA. But what do you think about all of this? Write your thoughts in the comments, and if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and like. It really does help the development of our channel, so thank you for watching.